Is our representative.
That's right.
It's 10, Judge.
Okay, good morning, everyone. It's 10 o'clock. Let's call the meeting to order. There's court for March 12th, 2024 in the Polk County Regional Health Building, Suite A. At this time, if you haven't already done so, please silence your cell phones or any other devices. And we would like to ask for Lyndall Mitchell, of Livingston Church of Christ, to come forward and lead us in prayer.
I want to impose on you just a little bit this morning.
Absolutely.
2 years ago today, my wife and I lost our grandson. He was a strikingly handsome, talented boy. And I say that not to play on your sympathy, but just to remind us all of something that we all know. Is that one day, people are going to walk away from a new made grave. And you do not want there to be any difficulty between you and yours. So love your people while you got them. I thank God that last thing I said to that boy was, I love you. And just say it to people. Let's pray. Our Father, we give thee thanks for this day. We're thankful for the people that are assembled here, both elected officials and those that work to advance the cause of our county government. We're thankful for our law enforcement, our first responders, our commissioners, all of them. And we pray that you would bless them and bless their families with health. Bless those that are in positions of leadership with wisdom. And we pray that all of us can always keep in mind that it is our mission here to be a source of encouragement and strength and that which is good and noble to those around us. We're thankful for Christ and for the example that he left for us. And we pray that you would bless us as we seek to walk in his steps. For these favors and blessings we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Madam Clerk?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Lyndall. Have a good day. Okay, public comments. Did anyone sign up?
No, ma'am.
Okay, informational reports. Does anyone have an informational report? Okay, I do want to say a couple of things. One is we all received the information from the city of Corrigan that they are designating the city of Corrigan as the timber products capital of Texas. And they're inviting everyone to come on Thursday, March 21st in the evening to City Hall. So everybody has that. They've also included it on social media and other avenues, so for anyone who's interested. And then another thing that you have in your packet is I want to give kudos to our district attorney's office for their participation in working with these kiddos that are interested in being attorneys. And they did mock trials and helped train those kids for competition. And so heard lots of good things about their participation. So we wanted to make sure you all saw the newspaper article. Okay, number 4, Strategic Planning Survey Workshop. In 2023, the court approved to move forward with a strategic planning process. And so in cooperation and partnership with the Polk County Economic Development Corporation and the Chamber of Commerce, we engaged with the community. If you all will recall, we sent out surveys to all of our employees, to elected officials. We asked everybody to participate in the survey, and we received those surveys back. We partnered up with the Economic Development Corporation and with the Chamber so that they could take a look at those surveys as well, have input in some of the questions, and start helping us compile the information. So the results of the surveys that were done are included in here. This is for reading information only. We're not going to make any decisions right now because it is a lot of information. We've also included a Polk County profile and strategic plan as provided by SFA. And we invited John Tarver, the Executive Director of the Polk County Economic Development Corporation, to come present some of the information. He broke a lot of the survey information down and from an economic development perspective so that we can start developing a countywide strategic plan. So on our end, our next steps should include roundtable discussions and workshops to further define the needs of the community as a whole, of the county as a whole, and to move forward with building our strategic plan. So we will need to develop a vision statement, we will need to develop our mission statement, and we need to come up with some focus areas for Commissioners Court. The last time that any of this work was done would have been in the early 2000s, I believe it was. The date's in here somewhere. And so this provides information for us as elected officials and for the court as a whole to make some decisions on how to move forward. So we are gonna ask all of our elected officials to participate as well. Okay, John?
You want me to come up there?
Then come right up here so that the microphone will pick you up. We printed out his information for you all since we don't have access to any technology at this point in time.
Thank you for this opportunity, I appreciate it. I've enjoyed working with Judge's office, especially Carrie back there for helping me out, putting a lot of this together and reviewing it and doing a lot of the legwork. And then I took it, what we got from an economic development perspective and kind of put some slide presentation from what I'd like to do moving forward as far as from an economic development perspective based on what the survey is telling us. There was about 414 residents that responded. That I think for this size county is a good response. I think we'd like to see a little better, but that is a very good response. You know, national elections are predicted on surveys of less than 1,000 people, so that's a good survey number. 78 businesses, which I think is extremely strong, responded, and then 43 of the elected officials, which is very good. So the next couple of comments are going to be based on slides 2 through 4, which is the residential part of the survey. About 71% of the respondents indicated that the strength of the county was the natural resources, the forests, the waterways. It also pointed out the economic benefit of having the Alabama Coshada tribe in the area, and of course Noscola Casino, and then Lake Livingston. Another area getting very, very high marks on the survey was our transportation network. We've got a wonderful highway system, 59, soon to be I-69, Highway 190, Highway 287, provides us access to the major markets, we're in close proximity to Houston, but we're also easy access to Dallas, Fort Worth, and the markets in San Antonio and the Austin area as well. So locally, we are centrally located for some good positive growth. A majority of the respondents indicated the small town charm and the general characters in the area is very, very important and the very noteworthy strength that we have. About 43% recognize the community development and volunteerism. And since I've been in this position, that's something I've certainly recognized. The county turns out, our citizens turns out and really gives a lot and participates in a lot of events. Smaller percentage talked about our school and our education were strength. That small percentage, I don't know why more didn't do that, because once again, going through the county and talking to literally hundreds of people in the county, I've heard nothing but people bragging on our ISDs and our school system. So I thought that would be a little higher, but I guess when the survey, they just didn't come to their mind at that time. But I think we have a wonderful group of ISDs in the county, and I think other people do. Some of the areas that they did say were kind of challenged in was limited job opportunities. And when you look at that a little deeper, I think they're going to say they're looking at pay and they're looking at quality and benefits that come along with those jobs. If you go around and look in the county, which I know you all have, there's a lot of job wanted and just taking applications and that are out there, but I think people are still looking for that quality job, manufacturing, distribution, transportation. Poor public transportation, limited access to affordable housing, and inadequate infrastructure. And a lot of that discussion was on Wi-Fi and internet, but they also talked about water, sewer, and electric issues. And one of the things is I've had some conversations with the judge about is getting our word out about what's been done in some of these areas. Some significant improvements have been made in all of these areas, and yet sometimes the citizens don't recognize that. So further down I'll make a comment about communication, and I think we need to better communicate sometimes some of the things that we have done and have accomplished so our citizens can know and understand that. The next slide 5, is related to businesses that in their respondents, 48% of the respondents indicated, and this is significant, of the 78, that would be 40 companies indicated they plan to expand in the next couple of years. And one of the key components of economic development that has never changed as long as I've been in economic development is the fact most of your growth is going to come from existing businesses. And 48% or 40 businesses in this case indicating they're going to grow and expand is tremendous. They're here. We don't have to convince them to come here. They know the benefits of doing business in the county, so I'm very excited about that. 70% respondents indicated growth locally is important, because if your local economy is not growing, it's going to be harder to attract people. And I think what companies considering the county to be a new location here, seeing this county and see the growth, I think that's going to help sell them on coming to the county a little better. 61% of the businesses said they want to see recruitment of new business in industry, which is good. They want to see us grow, which is, I think, important to the economy. Support of small businesses is important. And then some of the things that they're looking at as far as challenges for businesses are access to high-speed internet, healthcare, housing, trained, skilled workforce, and affordable utilities. Slide 6 is related to elected officials, and some of the things they're telling us in the survey is there's a strong sense of community in the county, which we've heard that from both the other two sectors. Our geographical location is strong. Quality of life and cultural and historical assets are a benefit to the county. And then we have had a lot of recent infrastructure improvements, especially on water, electric, renewables. The county is being recognized as one of the leaders in renewables in this region of Texas. I think we got 150 megawatts of solar in place, some additional solar. And matter of fact, I talked to another company this past week that's looking for acreage near the Cargan area to put in another solar facility. So that's very early on, and they didn't give me any company names or anything like that. But and then plus with the hydro, that's good. A number of our bridges have been redone. Visiting with TxDOT, and our roads certainly, y'all are all working on that as well. Some of the challenges that you talked about is workforce training, asset to capital, lack of affordable housing, once again, the high-speed internet, and keeping pace with infrastructure improvements, which I know is a challenge in a lot of our counties in our region. Main priorities from kind of an economic development point going forward is going to be good jobs with good benefits, continuing to work to diversify the county. We have a good diverse economy now with the timber industry, government, and then with the entertainment as far as Noscala Casino, but there's also room for other, I guess, good companies that's a good fit for our economy. Quality of life enhancement, continue to promote our quality of life that we have, and the access to outdoor activities, access to gaming, access to other entertainment, and then obviously the lake itself. Continue to work to help our county look at improving our workforce. I'm extremely excited about Lamar College and what they plan to do here, and some conversations that we've had with them already. That's just going to be a tremendous benefit to the county and to the region and to our employers. continue to work on making sure our local businesses are healthy, and then looking at opportunities to provide more housing in the area. And then continue this growth-friendly political climate that we have. I think it's obvious from the people I've talked to, they feel very supportive from our elected officials as far as looking at the county and growing in the county. So we want to continue that. From my perspective, I will be, already started this and doing this, but I'm going to try to enhance it even, is a strong business extension and retention and expansion program. We're starting to get to the point where we can do some marketing. We've done some improvements on our website, doing some stuff on social media now, and I hope to do a little bit more of that. Once we get this prospect, it's important that we continue to follow that prospect, follow up on it, and make sure that they have the information they need to make a strong business decision on locating, hopefully in the county, but make sure they understand we're working on our workforce. We have a good workforce that are out there. We just need to get them trained in some areas. A challenge that I'm having, and I would ask that as you're out and about in your region, is buildings and sites. If you know of any good industrial sites or any size building that you have, a lot of the leads that we're getting from the state now are looking for existing facilities, starting around 25,000 and up. So if you know of anything like that, please don't hesitate to give me a call, and I got business cards. If you haven't already got my business card today, I'll pass around. The continued work with our like downtown revitalization, the chamber on community preparedness, and these workshops will help us. That will be going forward on this survey as well. And then we all can improve, especially myself, in communication and make sure I'm communicating what I'm doing, what's going on, and what's some of the good things that's happening in the county. And then finally, one of the last, and I'm not going to go through all the demographics, but in my packet that I had, I gave you some just general demographics to say, you know, the county has done a lot of things real well over the past few years. The last decade, y'all have grown 16%. There's many counties, even in Texas, as fast growing as the state of Texas is, hasn't seen that growth, 16% growth in a single decade. I think that number's low, personally, from just knowing what I've known about the county over the year. I think it's probably knocking on 20%, but that is just a tremendous growth. And so I'm looking forward to continuing my role here throughout this year, and hopefully bring some new business in the area and continue to work on this survey and learn from it how I can better do my job as well. So that's really my general presentation, but I'm certainly open to any questions that you might
I will
have.
say this, John, I'm glad our median age has gone down.
It was higher than that.
I think our median age used to be 65. Now it's down to 44. Which tells you that young people are coming back or are moving into our community.
Correct. And we have a strong household income, that's great. Housing units are good. We certainly are gonna work on trying to get that number up as well. Any questions from my perspective?
Thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, we appreciate it. Okay, so, the court and the elected officials, we're gonna send in the information also, and we're also gonna send all the elected officials all this information that we have compiled, the resident surveys, everything for everyone to look at, so that we can start developing what our primary focus areas will be in partnership with what the community has to tell us or to say. And then after that, we'll set specific goals for the focus areas, things that are achievable, relevant, and that are time bound, so that, because part of it also is that the GFOA and some of our budgeting is tied to goals and expectations as well. So we will move forward with that. Anyone have any questions for John before he leaves? Yes, sir.
What's the average age of Polk County, did you say?
44.
44,
44.
the median age,
Median age.
the median age. Okay, new business, consent agenda. Item number 5, you have an addendum on B in the amount of $497,575.42. Also, I would like to go ahead and pull J, just because we have more information to provide on J, which is the Lamar grant application. So can I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Commissioner Robertson?
Second.
Commissioner Purvis, any discussion or questions or anything else you want to pull from the consent agenda? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, on J, the original statement was approved submission of application for United States Department of Agriculture, USDA Distance Learning and Telemedicine Grant. Obviously Lamar, we have been working with Lamar, trying to come up with some programs that would be beneficial to the county residents and in some cases directly to the county itself. And so Dr. Ben Stafford with Lamar University is currently working on a grant application on behalf of Polk County with, in conjunction with Jessica Hutchins. But obviously, we don't know anything about writing grants for universities or colleges or educational type grants. So what we've done is we're gonna move forward with applying for CDL training equipment, which would include a tractor trailer. The reason it becomes an issue is because for us to receive a USDA grant, then it has to be, the grant applicant has to be the organization that owns the building. And since we're gonna start the program at the Commerce Center, then we have to start out with us being the applicant, and then we will create the same relationship that we currently have, which will be that they will be the ones managing the program. And so they in fact will be the ones that are in charge of the equipment and that maintain it and do all the work with it. We've also been researching other grant opportunities and seeing what's available so that we can move forward with having additional CDL training available in the county. And if necessary, in some form or fashion, the county would participate in those. And so basically, the CDL, the benefits of having a CDL here in Polk County is especially the training, not just the testing, but the training as well, is that makes the CDL available, one, to all the commissioners, to the school districts for bus drivers, to the loggers. The impact of a CDL training and potentially a campus in our area would have a huge economic development benefit for those businesses that are already established. The additional would be that if you have people coming in, then obviously they're spending taxpayer dollars, you're generating sales tax revenue, but mostly it's because it would really help us and our businesses be able to maintain and be more successful. So I just wanted you all to be aware that not only are we applying for this one, but we are researching other options. And if we do decide to move forward with an option where the county would have to invest some monies or do some in-kind contributions, then we would come back to the court and ask for permission to move forward with those applications. So can I have a motion to approve J?
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Purvis, Commissioner Cassidy. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, consider approval of personnel matters as follows. Review and consideration of personnel action form requests submitted by department heads since the last meeting, and review of any authorized emergency hiring. We included the preliminary listing of the PAFs that were submitted to date, and at this time, we have no emergency hires. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Commissioner Robertson, Commissioner Cassidy, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, consider request for revisions and amendments to the budget as follows. A, the FY 2024 budget revisions and amendments as presented by the County Auditor's Office. A copy of the proposed revisions, number 2024-9, and amendments, number 2024-9A, is included for your review.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Cassidy.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Purvis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, discuss and consider approval of revised interlocal cooperation agreement between Polk County and Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. On February 28, 2017, we entered into an agreement with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. Keep in mind, we've been in AgriLife Extension Service forever and ever, but that was when the renewal occurred. So a copy of the proposed revised interlocal agreement is included for your review. The revised agreement changes the terms of their lease from 1 year with auto renewal to a 99-year lease as of the date of the agreement, and updates the renewal terms and termination clause. I believe this one is yours, Commissioner Purvis.
Yes, ma'am, if y'all look back here, they have what they proposed, and I think that's really the next item.
Yes, sir, we have to approve the first before we
Yeah,
can.
this is, they're proposing to build a building and spend some money, build a 4-H shooting complex out there at the old landfill across the road from the existing landfill, and this will protect them, because in today's environment, we don't know who's gonna replace us, and they might not believe in the kids shooting guns and all, and I wanna protect the 4-H for, whatever the money that they spend, that they'll continue to be able to teach our children out there.
They'll be able to continue using it for programs as they see fit,
Yeah,
basically, because if they're gonna make an investment of a structure, then their investment needs to be protected.
yeah. We don't know who will replace us, and they might not think like we do.
And in 99 years, the 4-H in Texas AgriLife is still gonna be going strong, and we will all be well on our way.
Yeah,
Okay, so does that come as a motion?
yes, ma'am.
Commissioner
I'll second.
Purvis, second Commissioner Robertson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, consider approval of request to add a building to the 4-H shooting range to be funded by Texas A&M AgriLife. The AgriLife Department has requested permission to erect a building on the parcel of land across from the landfill that they are utilizing for a shooting range for 4-H. A copy of the building specs and CAD location is included for your review. Commissioner Purvis, this is yours, sir.
Yes, ma'am, and this, they're gonna build a 30 by 60, is what they're proposing. Building out there, more or less a pavilion with a concrete floor, where they can hold classes, where people can get out of the weather when they're out there for the shooting events, and they can feed them during the shooting events. And then they're wanting to, build a sporting clays course with what the 4-H calls a whiz-bang courses. I don't know exactly what that is. I've seen it, but I don't know how to explain it. More like a 5-stand. But I think we should let them do it.
Okay, so that comes as a
And it's
motion.
not gonna cost the county, the 4-H, and they'll do this with money they raise at the shooting events and with some grants that they're applying for. So this isn't gonna cost the county anything.
So that comes as a motion from
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Purvis.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Robertson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10, consider approval of request to add a carport to the Precinct 3 Maintenance Complex to be funded by the Corrigan Food Pantry. The Corrigan Food Pantry operates out of the Precinct 3 Maintenance Complex and is requesting permission from the court to erect a carport at the site to provide cover for individuals distributing and receiving groceries from the food pantry. A copy of the building specs and drawing is included for your review. Commissioner Purvis?
Yes, ma'am, the food pantry, they give out food, the second Saturday of every month. They're right at a building right next to ours, which the county owns it, it's the old law building. And they have to stand out in the sun, or they stand out like last Saturday. The last time they gave it out, it was raining. They had to stand out in the rain and give it out. And they have a guy that's gonna donate, come and put this awning up for them and donate it to them. Not gonna cost the county anything. They wanna put it up and they do a good deed for the community and you know, I don't have a problem with it, so I'll make the motion to submit
I'll
it.
second.
Commissioner Purvis, second Commissioner Cassidy. Any discussion or questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, considering any and all necessary action regarding bid number 2024.14, purchase of one vehicle for Road and Bridge Precinct 3 to be funded by the American Rescue Plan Act. On February 26th, the bids were received and forwarded to the commissioners. A copy of the bid summary is included for your review. The low bid from Martin Chevrolet in Cleveland is $46,671.20. While none of the dealerships were able to provide a confirmed delivery date, Martin Chevrolet has indicated that they have a vehicle on order that matches the bid specifications. Commissioner Purvis?
I move that we accept it from Martin.
Second.
Bid Commissioner Purvis, second Commissioner Cassidy. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12, consider any and all necessary action to approve Road and Bridge Precinct 1 purchase of 2024 Holland track loader from Equipment Land with a 5-year,
That needs to be changed to George P. Bain Incorporated instead of Equipment Land.
Okay.
Other than that, everything else is correct.
Okay. George T. Bain,
Bain, B-A-N-E.
okay, Bain, okay. George T.
P.
P.
P, yes, ma'am.
Bain. With a 5-year term and net capitalized cost of $156,034.27. Commissioner Robertson has requested this item for approval to finance a New Holland C345 compact track loader. The equipment is available from Buy Board, cooperative member, George P. Bain, so we had it right on one side. A copy of the quote and lease purchase worksheet is included for your review. Louis Plop also assisted in getting the financing worked out with Stuart Cobb of First National Bank in Wichita Falls.
I'd like to make the motion.
Motion to approve,
Second.
Commissioner Robertson, second, Commissioner Cassidy. Any discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 13, consider any and all necessary action regarding proposal in the amount of $7,200 from the right direction for redrafting the personnel management system policy books. On February 13th, the court got a close look at how cumbersome and confusing our personnel policies have become and how close we have come with the Department of Labor to being fined for being out of compliance. We all agreed we needed an overhaul. So the last time that this overhaul was done by an outside consultant was in 1991, so we're well overdue. And the court, what has happened is the court has revised and added to the policy as we went along, so then it just kind of became a hodgepodge. So we've reached a point where we need a professional to redraft our personnel policies from the ground up to ensure that we are fully compliant with state and federal regulations. There were some areas where we were completely out. The state and federal regulations had changed and we were completely out of compliance and really did not realize it. So HR and the purchasing and procurement offices have been visiting with companies that write personnel policies and have requested the court's approval on the proposal from the right direction included for your review. And the total amount is $7,200, which was by far the lowest cost. The proposed scope of work from the right direction includes content development, professional formatting, regulatory compliance, review and iterations, and digital and print-ready versions of the final product, whereas the majority of them would not give us a total amount and had no more than an hourly rate and the estimates for the minimum number of hours needed to complete the work. If approved, this invoice can be paid from the attorney consulting line item, and a down payment of $3,600 is required to proceed with the project.
So look, that's plenty cheap if they'll simplify it where we can understand it.
And I'll make the second, but we do know that this is a great company and it's.
Yes, ma'am, yes,
Okay.
ma'am. No, we have checked on everyone, and not only that, but they were also the most straightforward about what they could or could not do, and what the scope entailed. The rest of them basically said, hire us and then we'll tell you. We'll tell you as we go along.
Because we do want lowest cost, but however, we want the best also.
Absolutely, and that's my point, is the other ones were like, well, just hire us, and then we'll let you know what you need as we go along. And so there was no set hours, there was no set scope of work that they could identify, whereas the right direction could identify the
And
scope.
we've seen what the quality of their work
Yes.
at other
Yes,
locations.
yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Okay, so I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 14, discuss and consider updates to policy regarding the use of county buildings, grounds, and facilities. On January 11th, 2022, the county adopted an administrative policy for the use of county buildings, grounds, and facilities. We had some interesting situations that occurred in terms of the judicial center. And we had some individuals that wanted to be present when jury summons were being filled and the jurors were coming in and out and witnesses were coming out and attorneys. And so we felt like that was an infringement upon the rights of those people that were coming to jury duty. We also solicited input because they wanted a permit for it. And so we did request input from the DA's office, from the district clerk, from the judge as well, from the judge that was hearing the case. And they felt like that would be basically tampering with the jury and potential intimidation of witnesses. And so that was denied, that permit was denied. But so the proposed changes basically broaden the restrictions so that we don't get into that situation where we could have someone potentially hindering the work of the county and creating an issue for the judicial system, for law enforcement, for everyone that's involved in that process. So a copy of the policy with the proposed revisions is included for your review, and it has also been through Mike Matthews.
So moved.
Commissioner Purvis,
I'll second.
second Commissioner Robertson. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 15, discuss and consider any and all necessary action to authorize applications for the FY 2025 state and local cybersecurity grant program for mitigation and workforce development. The state and local cybersecurity grant program supports cybersecurity efforts to address imminent cybersecurity threats to local information systems, including implementing investments that support local governments with managing and reducing systemic cyber risk. The projects that were selected for funding will be between September 1st of 24 and August 31st of 25, and there is a 10% match requirement for counties that are awarded funds. That includes three items. Mitigate the migration of the county website to the .gov domain, endpoint protection, and either UPS backup power or data backups for more secure storage. Those are the areas of interest to Polk County. And then because the workforce development project is for training for IT staff. So those are the four main areas that we're interested in making application. At this time, we do not have a dollar amount for the applications. So because we have not received all of the potential cost associated with them. However, we would like to go ahead and make sure that we make application for the .gov domain change, because that is something that the state is going to require us to do. And so since we are going to have to do that, then we would prefer to use grant monies as much as possible instead of utilizing our own funds further down the road. It's not something that has to be done immediately, but if we get the grant, then we will be able to proceed. I would like at this time to ask the court to consider doing a not to exceed $15,000 for on the county side, for the county expenditure, because it is a 90-10 match, and we all know that there isn't anything IT related that doesn't cost an arm and a leg. Casey is on vacation, otherwise she would be here to answer your questions. You're stuck with me, the one person that knows nothing about IT.
I was gonna ask you, how did we come up with 15,000?
Because we're estimating that it will be anywhere between 100 and 150,000, so we just said, okay, let's go with the 15. It doesn't have to reach that point, that's the not to exceed maximum that the county would put into it. And so if we get our grants and we get all our information together, then whatever combination of the grants in those 4 areas are, whatever we can apply for, then we will move forward with application.
Actually, see, I think that's kind of low. I think it should be about 2025, not
Yeah.
to exceed.
We're good with that.
Because that, anything to do with, with cybersecurity and
It's gonna be high.
Yes.
So
That's just-
you'd make a motion to increase that amount to how much?
let's increase it to 25.
Okay. Okay, does that come as a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion Commissioner Robertson. Need a second?
Second.
Second Commissioner Cassidy. All in favor
But
say.
you'll keep us informed too.
Oh, yes, ma'am. No, the minute we get it, then we'll do the same process we always do. We'll come back to the court and say, we received this, this, and this, and you'll have the information.
Okay.
Especially since it's actually for 4 different areas.
Right, so that's, yeah.
So, yeah, because then we'll need to know where the money's going for which one.
Mhm.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 16, discuss and consider any and all necessary action regarding the implementation of an employee in jail health clinic. So a few months ago, a County Progress article came out regarding the employee clinics. It was in your County Progress magazine. And one of those counties that does a health clinic for their employees and for their inmates is Chambers County. So we went to visit with Chambers County to see if that was something that Polk County even wanted to look at, consider, et cetera, et cetera. So we went to visit with them about their experience. We met with the clinic director, Judge Sylvia visited with us later as well. We met with the jail coordinator, and Chambers County started their clinic in 2007. And Chambers County has about the same number of employees as we do. So the average appointment outside the clinic, if our employees do choose not to use the clinic, then equates to 2.5 hours lost of time sitting in the doctor's office, for a checkup or to have blood drawn or whatever. So employees, obviously, one of the big benefits that they emphasize that the employees can get back to work faster, and also that they had been able to catch some serious health issues sooner than they would have been. Tax Healthy County program also partners with clinics on events for employees like health fairs, flu clinics, screenings, and lunch and learns. So in Chambers County, and with regards to the information we've gotten from TAC, they're saying that the savings outweigh the expenditure by 50%, with a reduction in claims, a reduction in sick time, and an increase in productivity. Physicals or immunizations for children of employees can also be done at the clinic and would further reduce time spent away from work for the parents regardless of whether one or both parents work for the county. So currently, Polk County contracts, we have a contract for a doctor and nurse practitioner to oversee the jail medical. And then we have a doctor that provides pre-employment physicals. So expanding the services to current employees and their dependents, potentially eligible retirees, taking a look at what the jail, how the jail might benefit. And indigent health would be a huge saving. And also benefits retention for employees for job satisfaction. So right now, we have approximately 300 employees. We have approximately 100 retirees and approximately 200 inmates and employee dependents. So there are enough potential patients to sustain a clinic. Furthermore, at the jail, we also contract for mental health at the jail. So if this is something that the court wants us to research further or to consider, it's obviously the clinic would be voluntary. It's not, you wouldn't be telling people you have to go to the clinic first. It would be voluntary. It would be entirely up to the employee on how they decided to proceed.
So what would be the possibility of this? I mean, could this lead to a significant reduction in our insurance
Yes.
that we pay?
Yes. It could lead to, it should lead.
It should.
It should lead to a reduction in our cost because we will be participating in some of the TAC Healthy County activities, which reduces the cost. The big rub with our employees is that if they want to cover their families with our insurance is Cadillac insurance. I mean, it is as high as we can go in having good insurance. And so part of the issue is that when you have an employee that's trying to cover their spouse or cover their children as well, then that cost is all on them. So if we can reduce those costs, then they can still continue to maintain good insurance for their families, or just their children, or just their spouse, or whatever they choose to do. The way that some of these, and we've looked at other ones, some of them have it set up to where the visit is $3, to the clinic. So obviously there's no deductible involved, so they're not hitting their insurance with a deductible. And I think the biggest one is being able to provide well checks for our employees, where they can just make an appointment at the clinic and go have their blood pressure checked or have a blood test run. Something simple that you would detect issues, potential physical issues that were going on with them before they got any worse.
We lived in the El Paso area in a school district, and we had written a Kellogg grant and had a clinic on site. And it was a total win-win situation. It increased student attendance because the students weren't out at lengthy time, and it also it increased our employee absences. It worked very, very well out there, and that was years and years ago.
Also, Royal Martin has a clinic. They have a clinic, they have a doctor that they contract with, and they have, the doctor is not available at the facility every day, but it's my understanding that they do have a nurse available, so that if somebody gets hurt, well, then someone's there immediately to provide assistance. But also, if someone's not feeling good, then they can go in and have the nurse check them and figure out, what's going on, so that then their employee gets care more quickly and more immediately. And like I said, we don't have all the details, but before we invest time and energy and effort and look at all this, we want to make sure that this is something that the court is interested in. We're not approving that right now we would start a clinic, We're just saying, do we want to move forward
Is
with
there
investigating
grants
it?
available right now that could be written?
There are some grants available right now, and we have, we are going to start getting in some of our opioid money. We've already received some of our opioid money. One of the things with the opioid money is that they have set up a lot of that money in a grant format. So, you know, you can't just say, oh, just give me my money and go on our way. It has to be directed towards something that is healthcare or preventive, right, because of what the source of the funding is. And so we could make application for those opioid grants and get some funding for the clinic as well.
And you should, if you could get one grant, then many times that helps you
It
get some.
snowballs.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm assuming, I know you're talking about just starting investigation, but I'm assuming this is a company already in existence, and then they just have their own people up here or something?
No. What Chambers County did is they went out and contracted with a nurse practitioner, RN, and then she runs the clinic. And then they also have a contract with a doctor that has oversight over the clinic.
Okay.
And so then, so they established a facility, and it's not big, it's not a big facility at all. They established a facility, and basically, those medical personnel are available to the jail as well. And so they can go in the jail. Right now, we have multiple contracts. We are fortunate, that we have a contract with Dr. Luna, and that he is our contractor. But the truth of the matter is, just like the rest of us, you know, sooner or later, Dr. Luna is gonna say, see ya.
Adios.
Yes, and so this would allow us to really look at something that would be stable, not just for county employees, but for the jail as well. The sheriff can tell you, we have been through 14 million different options. We tried to get contracts for, you know, virtual medicine. We worked on, we have the most stable contract right now. And so that contract, those contracts we have right now are an example of what could be done as the clinic. And so you would expand your capabilities and keep the jail stable at the same time. But we don't wanna put a whole lot of energy and effort into it, you know, and we want the jail to go visit with their jail, and we want the sheriff to go visit with their sheriff, and if you all wanna go visit with Judge Sylvia, you see what I'm saying, anybody that wants to be involved in the discussion and should be involved in this discussion, before we put all that energy and effort into it, we wanna make sure that this is something that the court would even consider.
I would be very open to consider it, not be open to even be a part of it.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
I'll second it, Deb.
Okay. Commissioner Purvis, you have anything you wanna add to that?
No, I'd be curious just to see, because you know, it tells in there, they got 3 different types of
Mhm.
clinics, you know. Yeah, just give us some more information,
Okay.
and I think it'd be good.
Commissioner Cassidy, Commissioner Robertson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Purvis, Commissioner Cassidy, what time is it now?
10:53.
Okay, thank you, everybody.